Well, sure, I like a glass of wine as a treat, but over the holidays, it's kind of nice to have a cocktail. And in winter, I think of those sexy whiskey ones you see in the black and white movies. So Shoana is back now to 10 bar. This is actually how our relationship started, Shoana. Remember when you started on Cityline, you were 10 in bar, you were slinging drinks. But right now we're going to talk about how you can make some cocktails. And are they difficult to make?
These are so easy. I promise you, you are all going to be surprised how easy it is. And there's nothing fancy here. All of this stuff could potentially be around your house or you can have to use for other things. And there's very little ingredients. I love an old fashioned. It is a classic cocktail. It's one of my very favorite cocktails. And a lot of people will ask sometimes what I'm drinking, although it's really popular now. But if I'm out at a bar, they'll ask what I'm drinking because it often comes with a slice of orange. So it looks like it might be like a sweet drink, but it's not. It is not for the faint of heart if you have it in its traditional way. But these little spins that I'm going to do on them will embrace everybody if you're interested in that whiskey cocktail. We also have a lot more time. So instead of just quickly pouring a glass of wine, take a little time. You said like sexy cocktails. Make something fun because, you know, we can. So let's start. This one here is an apple cider old fashioned, okay? It's crazy easy. I'm going to put a pinch of sugar into the glass. Now, if you don't want to add the sugar, you don't have to. It does add a little bit of sweetness to it, which a lot of people like with the whiskey. 2 shakes of bitters in. That doesn't look like very much, and you're like, I can probably leave that ingredient out. The bitters pack a punch. They're a really, really important ingredient, and you can buy bitters at the grocery store. Not hard to find at all. And then I'm going to put something special into it. I made sphere ice cubes, circle, round, balls. You can get these little ball forms anywhere. I literally grabbed them at the grocery store. Because all of mine are packed away because of our renovation. And they're not an expensive thing, and they are fantastic. And I put the apple cider instead of water in them. And so that will act as your mix, and it's going to act as your ice cube in itself. The reason why these round ice cubes are really good is because they won't melt too quickly and dilute your drink. So I'm going to use these through the segment, but if you don't want to go buy a special ice cube, mold, or you have this stuff at home and you just want to make this tonight on the fly, just use regular ice cubes. That's fine. And a regular ice cube tray could also be made with the apple cider. So, that's no problem. And then we're going to bring in the whiskey. And we're going to put 2 ounces of whiskey. Now, as you can see, this drink is almost all whiskey. It's like martinis. They're just pure alcohol. So be aware of that. To top it up, we're just going to add a really thin slice of apple because, we've got this apple thing going on. I'm someone who's really conservative with ingredients. I don't like my drinks looking like a fruit salad because I'm having a drink, not a fruit salad. But that's my personal thing. You go absolutely bananas if you want. So I've got the fresh apple slice. I'm going to throw a little cinnamon stick in there because that's delicious. And you're done. That's it. It's just basically an ice cube, a little bit of bitters, and some whiskey.
Still so much fancier than anything I would ever make. What have you got for us next, Shones? And can you use any type of whiskey with this?
I say use what you love. So whatever whiskey is your go-to, you go ahead and get it. And if you're not sure, just peruse the aisles and get one that tickles your fancy, that looks really interesting to you just to give it a try. This one is an Earl Grey old-fashioned. So I love tea. I love Earl Grey tea. It's one of my very favorites. I started with an ice cube, a plain water ice cube in this one. I'm putting 2 and a bit ounces in here. You can do, whatever you're comfortable with. This is another thing. You can also make these as strong or as light as you would like them to be. We're going to do orange bitters in this one. So we're just whiskey. We're going to do about, 3 dabs of some orange bitters. And then we're going to put an Earl Grey simple syrup in, a teaspoon.
How do you make that simple syrup?
Oh, it's so easy. Simple syrup is just equal parts sugar and water, right? So you boil the water, you put the sugar in, you dissolve it, and then you just toss in a couple of Earl Grey tea bags and let it sit for 10 minutes. That's it. See, this is so easy, I swear. You just have to cool it before you put it in the drink. You don't want to put hot into the drink.
Cool.
Because that's less than. Give it a stir. This is a fancy bar spoon. Nope, I said everything's around the house. I'm going to use a teaspoon because you do not need special tools for this. Give it a stir, and then you want to add that orange peel for garnish. Orange peels should not be intimidating. You get your vegetable peeler, and you just drag it across the top. See? Easy. Now, this also, just like the bitters, it adds so much to the drink. You're going to think, oh, I don't have that. It's a garnish. You're really going to miss out if you don't add that. That's it. That's your Earl Grey Old Fashioned.
Nice. Okay, you've got one more for us, Shoans.
I'm not letting you down. One more real quick. This one is so fun. Okay, I'm putting an ice cube in there as well, so you're going to do that. I'm starting again with the whiskey because that's the star of these cocktails. I'm going to put 2 ounces of this whiskey in here. I'm actually excited for this one. That's true story. Then I'm going to go ahead and back to that bitters, and I'm going to put 2 shakes of bitters in. The history of bitters is actually really interesting as well. I'll have to do it one day, but doctors used to prescribe it as medicine, and then people got drunk and they thought they felt better, and they were like, what? It's not. Anyway, that's true. I'll tell you that later. Again, that's for another day, as they say. And then I did a burnt or toasted marshmallow simple syrup. What? Yeah. So you know how I explained the simple syrup? And what you do, I'm going to put a teaspoon of that in here. What you do is you just put the sugar and the water together. Once the sugar's dissolved, pop in a couple of toasted marshmallows, melt those in it, and there you have it. You want to strain it out because you'll get some of that black, the burnt bits, you know, that the marshmallows have. And then you're going to go chill it and you're easy. So why not top it up with a couple of these toasted marshmallows as well? And you know what? I'm going to give you a tip. Toasted the marshmallows right now. You can do it over if you're lucky to have a gas range, a barbecue. Want to know what I used, Tracy?
What?
I used a candle lighter and a toothpick, and I toasted the marshmallow literally with like a barbecue lighter, candle lighter. Worked like a charm. So you don't even have to start a campfire. You can just enjoy your cocktail.
That is so cool. 3 old fashions, super easy, but very creative. You never let us down, Shoan.